Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
The homicide investigation is underway at UGA.
There has not been a homicide in the last 20 years here on campus.
Until Thursday morning around lunch.
The University of Georgia Police Department received a call from an individual concerned for a friend who had gone jogging at the intramural fields.
Roughly 30 minutes later, the young woman's body was found in an area of a Cody Forest Park behind Lake Herrick. UGA Police, Athens Clark Police, and the GBI set up a command post, locking down the entire sports complex, checking every driver's ID and documenting every vehicle that left the complex. UGA's police chief confirming.
At this time, we do not have a suspect.
UGA has canceled classes on Friday, and the chief making sure everyone stays alert.
When you have a suspect that's on the loose, there's always a danger.
Two colleges in Athens, Georgia have canceled classes today as police look for a murderer. Police discovered Laken Hope Riley's body in a wooden area of the University of Georgia's campus after a friend reported she had not returned from her morning run. Detectives say there were obvious signs of trauma. Riley was a nursing student at Augusta University in Athens, which is located near the University of Georgia. Authorities do not yet have a suspect.
In the quiet southern town of Athens, Georgia, a chilling incident occurred on the University of Georgia campus in the early hours of a Thursday morning. For Laken Hope Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student, the day had started just like any other, but it was soon to take a devastating turn. Laken was no stranger to the University of Georgia. She had been a student there until the spring semester of 2023, when she transferred to the nursing program at Augusta University. A lover of the outdoors, she had set out for a run at the intramural fields on campus that fateful morning. As time passed by, and when she didn't return, a concerned friend called the UGA Police Department around noon. Acting swiftly, the police located Laken. A sense of dread gripped the officers as they provided medical aid, only for the emergency medical responders to confirm the worst Laken was deceased. Her body lay in the woods behind Lake Herrick, a silent testament to the horror that had befallen her. Injuries was visible on her body, a grim indication of the tragic circumstances surrounding her untimely death. The news of Laken's demise sent shockwaves through the community. Her family was notified, and the police immediately launched an investigation, treating her death as a homicide. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the Athens Clark County Police Department, and federal law enforcement joined the UGA police, lending their expertise to the case. Laken's death marked a grim milestone in the history of the University of Georgia. It was the first homicide on the campus in 41 years, a sobering fact that cast a long shadow over the institution's reputation for safety. As the news rippled through the student body, a feeling of unease hung heavy in the air, a stark reminder of how her life was cut short.
I want to take you out to another story that we have been tracking very closely here, the latest on the murder of a nursing student on the University of Georgia campus. Court documents detailing the disturbing allegations against the illegal immigrant charged with killing Laken Riley, who you see right there on your screen. Fox's Madison Scarpino following the story from Athens, Georgia, joining us live. Good morning, Madison. We did get a lot of new information here, although there is still a lot overall left to figure out.
That's right, Josh. Some gruesome new details. Jose Ibarra, the suspected killer of Laken Riley's arrest affidavit, says that he used a weapon to seriously disfigure her skull. And the affidavit also says that Ibarra concealed the death by dragging Riley's body to a secluded area. The coroner here says the full autopsy report likely won't be out for several weeks. These new developments come as hundreds gathered on campus yesterday for a vigil to honor Laken Riley, as well as another student who died by suicide the night before Riley died.
In a world where justice is often elusive, the relentless pursuit of truth in Laken's case offered a glimmer of hope. On February 22, 2024, at approximately 12:07 p.m. The University of Georgia Police Department received a call from an individual concerned for a friend who had gone jogging at the intramural fields. The police responded immediately to that area and began a search. Officers located the individual in the area behind Lake Herrick at approximately 12:38 p.m. The individual was unconscious and not breathing and had visual injuries. An officer immediately began rendering medical aid. Emergency medical responders determined that the individual was deceased upon their arrival. At a later time, it was confirmed that this individual was Laken Riley. The coroner's office identified the cause of death: blunt force trauma. Campus police arrested 26 years old Jose Antonio Ibarra in connection with Laken's death. He was charged with felony murder, false imprisonment, and kidnapping, along with other charges. Police say they used footage from campus security cameras as well as physical evidence to tie the suspect to Riley's murder.
Ibarra is in jail charged with Laken Riley's murder. He is from Venezuela, and according to ICE, he entered the country illegally in 2022 and was later paroled. 11 Alive's Rebecca Lindstrom joining us now in studio.
So, Rebecca, a lot of folks want to know, did Ibarra even, did he fall through the cracks? Was he even supposed to be up in Athens in the first place when that crime occurred?
Well, from what I can tell, if everyone had followed procedures, the answer is no. There are at least 2 points in time that really could have made a difference. According to Homeland Security, Jose Ibarra and his wife entered the U.S. near El Paso in September 2022. After being arrested and released, they went to New York. At that time, immigration attorney Pamela Peinado says Venezuelans had special protective status in the U.S.
It could be political unrest, it could be a national disaster, etc. But we're basically allowing these individuals to stay here for a temporary amount of time because it's unsafe to send them back to their home country.
But in an interview with the New York Post, Ibarra's wife says that before their immigration hearing, Jose was arrested for riding a moped with their 5-year-old son while doing food deliveries. Neither were wearing a helmet. At that point, ICE could have taken Jose into custody, but it says he was released before that could happen. The DA's office in Queens has refused to answer our questions, even denying the case exists. After his release, Jose headed to Athens, where his brother was now living. He was only here for about a month when they were both accused of shoplifting from Walmart. According to the police report, the two allegedly stole food and clothes. They were given a citation and let go. A spokesperson with the Athens Clark County Police told me immigration status is handled during the booking process at the jail. And since they weren't arrested, that check wasn't done, but Jose's brother had been arrested the month before on a DUI charge.
When someone is in an agency or in a detention facility that communicates with ICE, ICE will go pick them up. They usually have about 48 to 72 hours to do so.
The Department of Justice says it didn't know about the DUI arrest until last week, after Laken Riley was killed. I have reached out to the sheriff's office to explain what happened, but have not received a response.
The swift action provided a small measure of solace to the grieving community, assuring them that no ongoing threat loomed over the campus. Laken's story is a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of life. Also, the situation raises concern about illegal immigrants entering the country. They say even after they get caught, they allow some to stay because of a program they may enter, allowing them to stay because it is unsafe for them to go back to their country. But are Americans safe from the monsters that infiltrate their way into our country? And this was exactly the case of Jose Antonio Ibarra. Neighbors of the suspect says he stalked her on on-air daily basis, watching her as she ran by his apartment day after day. The affidavit lays out evidence against an illegal immigrant from Venezuela. It is hard to comprehend what he allegedly did to this young woman. The documents say her body was disfigured with a heavy object. It's also accused of trying to stop her from calling 911 during the struggle. The documents say he tried to hide her death by dragging her body to a secluded area. All the details were caught on videotape. As the investigation continues and the quest for justice prevails, her memory lives on, a beacon of resilience and hope in the face of adversity. In the end, it's not just the story of Laken Hope Riley. It's a story about community, about the relentless pursuit of justice, and about the enduring human spirit that refuses to be extinguished even in the face of the greatest tragedy.
Allie, Laken Riley's murder is really intensifying this debate about border security.
Yeah, debate that we've been having and sharing here on News Nation for quite some time, Nicole. And the information that the House Judiciary Committee is seeking here on Jose Ibarra is information that we were able to break on Friday. It's information that they want to get the documentable proof that we've been looking at and that we've been reporting from our ICE sources, like when and where he crossed, right? We know he crossed into El Paso in September of 2022. Now, sources also tell me if he came from Venezuela and didn't live anywhere else on the way here, it would have taken him about a month to get here. Now, in his processing, he was only in CBP custody for 21 hours. So they're going to want that information as well. As Joe mentioned, that is something that they're seeking, is what that processing looked like. Now, I also checked back on that processing, Nicole, and I saw that he actually did claim fear in that processing when he was paroled. Again, only in custody for about 21 hours. He was with a group of people, a woman and child in that group as well. This House Judiciary Committee will likely try to get information on that group that entered with him as well, and who those individuals were and any of their criminal histories from Venezuela. Also something that we don't have access to and haven't had access to, because as we've been reporting, Venezuela doesn't necessarily play well with the United States, right? They stopped taking back these repatriation flights as well, Nicole. So a lot of issues here that the House Judiciary is really going to be sifting through here when it comes to 26-year-old Jose Ibarra. Again, he was arrested in New York, and then that's when he went over to Georgia and linked up with his brother Diego. Diego came in April of 2023, and then they were residing together in Athens, Georgia, where, of course, this unfathomable tragedy took place. So a lot of things that the judiciary is going to be breaking down and asking of Alejandro Mayorkas. They want those details by March 12th, according to that document that we obtained. So, of course, we'll be on this, Nicole. We'll continue to dig into any details we can when it comes to the sponsors, things like that Jose Ibarra provided. We're still digging into some of those details. And if he had a pending court date, that's also something that we need to find out, Nicole.
Yeah, and lots of unanswered questions at this point.